So I'm at my aunt and uncle's house right now visiting family for the holidays. And this is something I haven't done for like 4 years because when the pandemic hit, my mom was really worried about you know what. And so I just didn't go anywhere. And I wasn't exactly complaining about this because, as most of you probably know, I'm an introvert and visiting family is not my favorite thing. I can handle people in small amounts, but, it gets tiring. I think a lot of people can identify with that. But yeah, the thing that was different this time is that I brought my van, and it's an unfinished van. But I did get to experience a little van life camping, and it was freaking cold the past few days. It got down below 30 degrees at night, and you can see that it's kind of melting now. There's a little snow on the windows, but there's snow outside. And anyways, I don't know, it was just kind of nice because usually when I visit family, there's like nowhere to go. And I think a lot of people can relate to this because like you drive, a really long drive, and then you get there and it's just like there's so many people and you just don't have any space, so it's hard. And especially this time of year, it's like there's only so much time you can spend going on a walk outside. So anyways, I brought a bunch of blankets, and like this was my setup for sleeping the past few days. I wasn't wearing this is a Jack Stillman Ranger poncho, but I had like a puffer jacket for like being around in the van. And then when I was sleeping, I had the Simply Merino sweatshirt, which is 100%. And then I had the Tracksmith NDO hoodie, and I would like put the hoodie up. And then there's my pillow, and I basically like, especially the first night when I didn't use my space heater, I just like covered my entire body, and all there was this like 3-inch hole from my nose to breathe because it was so freaking cold. And I was kind of worried about leaving the space heater on all night because I didn't want to like set myself on fire. I had never tried it before, but yeah, the first night was okay, and then the second night I ended up using the space heater because I woke up at 3 a.m. absolutely freezing. So I like took the space heater and then I put it down here, like right above my head, which worked pretty well. And yeah, I'm actually like getting hot now because the space heater is heating me up. So I'm gonna take the poncho off. But yeah, visiting family, it's still exhausting. Like even though I have a place to go, and one of the reasons for that is like, I don't know, like every family is different. Like some families try to like plan too much, so it's just like exhausting. You're just like going from like thing to thing. And my aunt, my other aunt is kind of like that. But then like with my family here, it's more like they don't plan anything at all. Like the plan is just to like watch football game after football game after football game. And like in the past, I would just sort of like sit on the couch and I would watch like the first game, and then I would just get so tired that I would just, I don't know, it was like zone out. I would sleep, or I would like listen to a podcast, and I would just enter this like zombie mode of complete exhaustion or just get so depressed. But it's been nice having the van because I can go out and have this like little escape, and I've also sort of, I guess, matured like in terms of standing up for myself, and also knowing how my energy works. And so like I just don't watch any television at all when I'm here. I might like walk over to the TV for a few minutes to see what's going on if they're watching a soccer game or something, but pretty much I just like read, or I work on like YouTube stuff, and I don't watch TV at all. And it's been much better. I don't feel exhausted. I feel like I can come into the van and just sort of like chill out. So this has been a really good taste of what van life is going to be like. And this was kind of the whole point, is like, I want to be around, friends and family and my parents and stuff, but I need to protect my energy, or otherwise I'm not going to accomplish anything in life. I'm just going to be one of these people that just like sits in front of the TV for their whole life while their dreams kind of, swirl down the drain and they don't accomplish the things that they want to accomplish. And it's really hard to watch people that are doing that. I have the intention to accomplish everything that I've set out for myself. I've published a book, 365 comics. I started a YouTube channel. I went viral. I'm up to 30K. I'm making a full-time living. I think we're going to get to $40,000 this year. And I don't know. It's just like you have to decide that this is what you want for your life. And it's honestly a really simple decision. And once you decide, it's like everything that you do in life is about that. It's like what you eat, you know, what you drink. Um, yeah, this is another thing about visiting family is a lot of times people won't be on the same, nutritional um, philosophy as you. So like this water bottle is like a filtered water bottle by Clearly Filtered. I've been using their the refrigerator one, the big pitcher for a year. I've kind of forgotten to review it because it's so boring. It's just like water, but it just does what it's supposed to do. It filters a bunch of toxins. So anyways, they sent me this like a long time ago and I never used it because I had the filter, but it's actually kind of genius because there's a little filter straw that goes down here with a big like charcoal filter and whatever their filtering technology is. So like you just have filtered water in a bottle and it's nice, because then you don't have to drink chlorinated tap water, which is really gross. The other funny thing about this trip is that if you watched my previous video about diet and veganism and everything, I decided to try like a raw carnivore type diet. So I've been eating mostly raw bison and some raw salmon. I was eating raw quail eggs, but I'm like, yeah, I don't think that was really working for me. So I stopped doing that and just went to cooking them. But anyways, I was like, how how is this gonna work? Because we have Thanksgiving and yeah, the food is not like it's not organic, it's not free range, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's really difficult, when you start to improve your life or change your diet and other people have not really followed along. It's like, what do you do? So anyways, my solution was like, I ate, the potatoes and the squash, and the squash had kind of like a reddish color. So what I did is like, I sat down for Thanksgiving and then I like piled my plate up with, squash and potatoes. And then I went out to the kitchen on the pretense of, I don't know, getting something or seasonings or something. And then I took my raw meat and I mixed it in with the squash and the potatoes, and I mixed it in thoroughly enough that you like couldn't tell, and so like you couldn't see that the meat was like red. And then I sat down at dinner and everyone's eating their like factory farm turkey, which I would never touch with a 12-foot pole, both because of health reasons and what they're fed, and and then also because of how they're treated. It's horrific, But anyways, it was like a really bizarre experience because I'm sitting here eating like free range raw bison meat and everyone else is eating turkey, and no one seemed to notice. I've been eating raw meat the entire time and no one has noticed, which is a funny thing about life. It's kind of like Harry Potter, like in Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling's always mentioning how the muggles just don't notice magic. They're completely oblivious to it. And I've had so many experiences like that where I think, how am I going to get past this without someone noticing? And then it's just like people, they're just so lost in their own world, or I don't know, they're tired or whatever, that they don't even notice. But yeah, back to my sleeping setup, which is pretty insane. So I have a like a mummy sleeping bag, but I didn't end up sleeping in it because I realized that it's like a polyester lining and it's really not breathable. So I just put this on as the top layer. And then I have an old army blanket. This is my grandfather's, my mom's dad's, who was in the army, and wool blanket. And then underneath that, I have another wool blanket. This is just like an old family wool blanket. And then I have a third wool blanket. And then under that, I have a 3-inch kind of like wool futon thing. And it was still cold. Like the cold was just coming straight up from the bottom of the van. And so I had to use the space heater like to warm everything up. I even built like a little platform. Like you can see the plywood layer there on top of the other plywood to try to get a little bit of separation. I also have heating mats. You can see one right there. The van, by the way, is an absolute mess because there's just like nowhere to put everything, Like in the end, I'm gonna have cabinets up there and cabinets all along here. But right now, basically, other than this cabinet here, which is impossible to open because of the bed, I have nowhere to put everything. So everything gets put on the floor and get like the chair there. So the van is a hot mess, but that's okay. Anyways, going on with what I was wearing. Yeah, so I had these two sweatshirt layer, and then I have some bamboo sheets, and then for my feet, oop, the mic dropped off. I have 3 layers. So for the bottom layer, I have Injinji wool toe socks, and then I have a thick smart wool, and then I have my Pantufa slippers by Mookie Shoes. These are like a barefoot slipper. They've got a rubber sole, and they're pretty clean, so they're okay to wear in bed. But then they've got, the wool on top. Like, my feet are not even hot right now because it's so goddamn cold in the van. But it was really cool to wake up to this like beautiful snowy morning, and I'm really excited to get my propane heater. That's the next thing that I'm gonna do because it's getting so cold that I'm not gonna be able to work in the fan if I don't have a heating source. And a space heater is not gonna cut it. Even if I had a bigger one, there's just no way it would cut it. And it draws so much electricity that you'd have to have a 30 amp hookup. Most extension cords are 15 amp. This is one of the things that you learn when you start doing van life, is you have to understand all the different like electric voltages and whatever. But yeah, anyways, the propane fireplace is gonna go right here, and that'll be really cozy, for visiting family or going camping off grid. And then I'm gonna do a 20-pound propane tank under the van, which will snake up into the van to the propane fireplace. And then it'll be actually cozy to spend time in my van, and it'll make it even better visiting family, because like I'm mostly doing work on my laptop, and it's really old laptop. It's just not cutting it. I brought my ink monitor, but I didn't end up using it because there's just like nowhere to set it up. It's just such a pain, and it's so cold out here that I really don't want to spend much time working out here, and I don't really want to work in a house because it's distracting, and the TV's on constantly. So I'm really looking forward to putting the van together and actually being able to work, and that's kind of the goal for this winter, is just to do all of that stuff. So plot twist, I actually did end up setting up my computer. Check this out. I put it on the the mat right next to me, and I will say it's not the most comfortable computer setup that I've ever used, but I don't know, it's kind of cozy here with the e-ink monitor, and it looks really great with so much natural sunlight, compared to LED. Like, it's just like looking at a newspaper. Check this out. See? Not high def or anything, but it is super relaxing. Anyways, back to the video. What else? Yeah, I've been supplementing my raw meat with like the complete opposite, like vegan food. This is purely Elizabeth granola. It's really good. It's not sprouted, unfortunately, but in a pinch where you just, you need some calories or you need some sugar. Oh, there's my dad. Dad! Say hi to the camera.
Hello.
Over here in the cargo window.
Hi.
No, over here in the cargo window. Wave, yeah. And we're back. Even in a van, you can still get interrupted by things. But yeah, I guess last thought for this talk in terms of, family gatherings and whatnot, is just like how difficult it is to deal with people who like you haven't seen in a while and who really don't share a lot in common with. I think the reason why people have so many problems with family gatherings in terms of, I don't know, like arguing about things or just feeling like there's a lack of connection, whatever, is that people are living so far away from each other, and it's just unnatural. Like, humans are meant to be in a tribe where we spend every day together, and we know each other's idiosyncrasies, and we, make experiences together. So this thing of like visiting family once a year, or in an extreme case once every 4 years, is just really hard, because you feel like these people are complete strangers and you really don't know what to talk about. And so that's why a lot of times people just end up watching television and not really doing anything meaningful together. We played Scrabble last night, so there have been a few good conversations. But overall, it's hard to maintain because you just don't know that much about these people that you were supposed to be, close with, that are supposed to be your tribe. And like, one of the things that's always really hard for me is when people start talking about the medical system, because like, as most people know on this channel, I'm very like pro naturopathy and healing yourself, not going to I haven't been to the doctor in over 4 years now. And I cured a lot of things myself, so it's just like awkward to hear people telling you about these medical problems that they have, and like they don't seem to think that they could cure it. Like if someone's talking to me about allergies and I've cured my allergies, or they're talking to me about asthma, I've cured my asthma, so on. It's, gut problems, and it's just hard because you don't really know these people well enough to really have a deep, controversial conversation with them, and you don't want to like ruin family time, but the only other option is just kind of like nod and smile. And my aunt was telling me a story about some person she knew who was like diagnosed with this malignant spot in her eye, and it was horrific. She was describing what they did, and they like strapped her down to a table, and then they put this, I don't know, like cone, on her eye, and she was like, oh, it's they're so great at it, they can get the radiation into just the right spot now. And I'm like, sounds like a fucking torture nightmare. It's like, I posted about the book 1984, and this is an experience I constantly have with people, is like, there are multiple levels of brainwashing, and the first one is just like fear-based, where you live in a system where you're like afraid to go against the herd, because you'll be like ostracized. But then the next level is where you so fully accept things that are detrimental to your mental health, your self-confidence, whatever, that you actually come to believe that they're for your own good. And so I often find myself talking to these people who are describing these horrible, torturous experiences as if it's like they're so thankful for it. And yeah, I don't know. She was saying like whoever this person was, she was like, the doctors told her that the one side effect would be that she would lose her eyelashes for the rest of her life. And she's like, oh, well, that's not so bad. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's like they've shifted the goalposts so goddamn far that people don't even know what's good for them anymore. But anyways, it's fun filming little vloggy type videos in my half-finished van, and I'm really excited to get it finished. I hope that the holidays are not too stressful for you, and I don't know, maybe you've picked up something from this video that might help you get through them with a little less chaos, or at least inner chaos. And but yeah, I hope you're staying warm, and I'll be back to reviewing barefoot shoes and other stuff pretty soon. But thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you next time. Peace.